against noble savages, why does he use that oxymoron?
Ah.
Even when he is including their problems in his paper.
I'm glad you read my book. Yes, Noble Savages was a sort of is like a common way of considering people who are not familiar with this. If you're like a Britisher and you want to portray what Indians are like, you might use the term noble savages, right? They're pure and they're not corrupted by modern society, but they're still savages. And that was a common way for people, especially Europeans in the 18th century, to perceive Indians. So your question was like, why does Hickey use that term, right? Hickey. So I think to answer that question, you really have to think like, what was the mindset of people in the 18th century? How do they conceive the world? And when Hickey and his writers using noble savages, that was like a construct that they were living within, right? And so when they want to portray what Indians are like, they might not have the vocabulary, they might not have the means that we have now to think about the world. And so they use that construct to portray, in particular, I think you're talking about this one case in the book. And so there's a woman who, the British officer, he sees a woman and her child, and he wants them to come back with him. And he offers them money, and they refuse to, and he's like, oh, they are noble savages because they're so pure, right? But still, they don't really get society. But I want to emphasize that how else, if you don't have the vocabulary, you don't have the ways of thinking, how else do you perceive the world except in what you already know? So I'm not trying to justify it, but I'm just giving you context where, this is what they thought of the world then, that's how they perceived it. Does that help?